You know that feeling in your gut about your metabolism? The one that's screaming it slammed into a brick wall the moment you hit 40? Yeah, you're not making it up. It's that frustrating reality where the workouts that used to shred fat now just make you sore, and the foods you once enjoyed now seem to go straight to your waistline, clinging on for dear life. Who could eat a pizza without gaining 5 pounds overnight? It's a common story, a narrative that gets passed around like a cautionary tale among men entering their prime. But what if I told you that this narrative, this widely accepted truth about your metabolism grinding to a halt, is fundamentally flawed? What if the problem isn't your age but the fuel you're putting into your body? We've been conditioned to believe that this metabolic slowdown is an inevitable part of aging, a biological tax we all have to pay. We're told to accept it, to settle for a dad bod, to give up on the idea of being lean, strong, and full of energy. This belief system is not only disempowering, but it's also scientifically inaccurate. The real issue lies in how our bodies process energy, particularly carbohydrates, as our hormonal landscape begins to shift with age. The conventional wisdom tells us to eat less and move more. For men over 40, our sensitivity to insulin changes. This means that the same bowl of pasta or slice of bread that was easily metabolized in our 20s now triggers a more significant insulin spike, signaling our body to store fat, especially around the midsection. This isn't a personal failure, it's a biological reality. The high-carb, low-fat dogma we were raised on becomes our enemy, creating a vicious cycle of energy crashes, cravings, and relentless fat storage. That's a lie, and I'm about to show you exactly why. We're going to dismantle that lie, piece by re-engineering your approach to food. We're talking about a strategic shift, a way of eating that works with your body's new reality, not against it. By embracing a low-calorie ketogenic approach, we can turn your body from a sugar-burning, fat-storing machine into a fat-burning, energy-producing powerhouse. We're going to flip the metabolic switch, giving you the tools to reclaim your energy, build lean muscle, and feel better than you did in your 30s. Today we start with the food that will fuel that transformation, one delicious, simple recipe at a time. Let's kick things off with the most important meal of the day, but we're going to rebuild it from the ground up. Forget the sugary cereals and carb-loaded bagels that send your blood sugar on a roller coaster, leaving you crashing and hungry by 10 a.m. We're crafting the Power Breakfast Keto Protein Pancakes. This isn't just about replacing a bad habit, it's about establishing a powerful morning ritual that sets the tone for your entire day. The goal here is sustained energy, mental clarity, and providing your muscles with the high-quality protein they need to fight age-related muscle loss, a process known as sarcopenia, which accelerates after 40. This breakfast is your first line of defense. The foundation of this recipe is built on the principles of metabolic efficiency. By starting your day with a meal that is high in protein and healthy fats, and virtually devoid of carbohydrates, you are signaling to your body to continue burning its own fat stores for fuel, a state it naturally enters overnight while you sleep. This metabolic momentum is crucial. A traditional pancake breakfast does the exact opposite. It floods your system with glucose, spikes insulin, and slams the brakes on fat burning, providing a steady stream of energy that lasts for hours. Think about the structure of these pancakes. We're using almond flour, a fantastic low-carb alternative that's packed with healthy, monounsaturated fats, fiber, and micronutrients like magnesium, which is vital for energy production and muscle function. We're binding it all together with eggs, a complete protein source that provides all the essential amino acids your body needs for repair and growth. And the star of the show, a high-quality whey or collagen protein powder, directly fuels muscle protein synthesis, making this meal an active contributor to your strength and physique goals, not just a passive source of calories. The beauty of this power breakfast is its simplicity. In a world where mornings are often chaotic, you need a routine that is both effective and achievable. This recipe can be whipped up in minutes, faster than waiting in line at a coffee shop. You can even prepare the dry mix in advance, so all you have to do is add the wet ingredients and cook. This isn't about adding another complicated task to your morning. It's about installing a simple, powerful system that pays dividends in energy, focus, and physical well-being for the rest of your day. It's the strategic first move in your daily battle for metabolic control. For men over 40, maintaining let alone building lean muscle mass is a primary objective. It's the engine of your metabolism. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. A high-carb breakfast actively works against this goal. The subsequent insulin spike not only promotes fat storage, our keto protein. Pancakes do the opposite. The significant protein content, ideally 30 to 40 grams in a serving, provides the direct building blocks your muscles are crying out for, especially if you're incorporating resistance training into your routine. This is how you build a resilient, metabolically active body. Let's break down the science of that first meal. When you consume a substantial amount of protein in the morning, you trigger a process called muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. Think of MPS as the on switch for muscle building and repair. After an overnight fast, your body is in a catabolic state, meaning it can start breaking down muscle tissue for energy. A protein-rich breakfast immediately halts this process and shifts you into an anabolic or muscle-building state. This is critically important as we age because our natural MPS response can become blunted. Furthermore, the protein and fat in these pancakes have a high thermic effect of food, or TEF. This means your body actually burns more calories just digesting and processing these nutrients compared to carbohydrates. It's like a small metabolic boost built right into your meal. While it's not a massive number, every little bit counts, and it's part of a larger strategy of making your metabolism work for you, not against you. You're not just eating for satiety, you're eating to stoke the metabolic fire that will burn throughout the day, helping you stay lean and energized without the constant hunger that plagues high-carb dieters. The taste and texture are what make this a sustainable habit. If a healthy breakfast tastes like cardboard, you're not going to stick with it. We've engineered these pancakes to be delicious. The almond flour provides a slightly nutty, satisfying base, while the protein powder can add a hint of vanilla or chocolate. A touch of monk fruit or erythritol provides sweetness without impacting blood sugar. When cooked in butter or coconut oil and topped with a pat of grass-fed butter, they become a genuinely enjoyable, comforting meal. This ensures you're not just enduring your diet, you're actually looking forward to it, which is the key to long-term consistency and success. Picture a typical morning powered by carbohydrates. You eat a bowl of cereal, and for about an hour, you feel a surge of energy. But what follows is the inevitable crash. Your blood sugar plummets, your brain gets foggy, you feel irritable, and your focus shatters. You find yourself reaching for another coffee or a sugary snack just to get back to baseline. This is the blood sugar roller coaster, and honestly, it's a terrible way to manage your day, especially when you need to be sharp and productive. It's a cycle of highs and lows that drains your mental and physical resources before you even get to lunch. This is the antithesis of what a man in his prime needs. Now, contrast that with the experience of the keto protein pancake breakfast. The energy release is completely different. Because the meal is primarily composed of fat and protein, it's digested much more slowly. There's no flood of glucose into the bloodstream. Instead, your body gently converts the fatty acids and amino acids into a steady, reliable source of fuel. This translates to hours of stable energy. Your focus remains sharp, your mood is stable, and you're not distracted by nagging hunger pangs. You are in a state of calm, controlled energy, allowing you to dominate your morning tasks without interruption. This sustained energy comes from ketones, the alternative fuel source your body produces when you restrict carbohydrates. Ketones are an incredibly efficient fuel for the brain, and improved cognitive function when they are in a state of ketosis. By starting your day with a meal that supports ketone production, you're not just fueling your body, you're upgrading your brain's operating system. This is a massive advantage in a competitive world that demands peak mental performance. You're giving yourself an edge that starts the moment you sit down for breakfast. When you switch to a low-carb, high-protein breakfast, you experience what true satiety feels like. The combination of protein and fat is incredibly satiating, signaling to your brain that you are full and nourished. This allows you to go for 4, 5, or even 6 hours without thinking about food, freeing up mental space and allowing you to break the cycle of constant snacking that contributes to weight gain. A recipe is only as good as its practicality. If it requires a dozen exotic ingredients and an hour of your precious morning time, it's not a sustainable solution. The keto protein pancakes are designed for the real world, for the man who has to balance work, family, and fitness. The core ingredients are simple and readily available at most grocery stores. Almond flour, protein powder, eggs, a bit of baking powder for fluffiness, and a keto-friendly sweetener. These are staples you can keep in your pantry, ready to go at a moment's notice. There's no need for a special trip to a health food store for obscure items. The preparation process is streamlined for maximum efficiency. You can combine all the dry ingredients, almond flour, protein powder, sweetener, baking powder, a pinch of salt, into a jar or a container. Then, on a weekday morning, all you need to do is scoop out a serving, crack in an egg or two, add a splash of unsweetened almond milk or water, and whisk it together. The entire process, from grabbing the jar to pouring the batter onto a hot buttered pan, takes less than 5 minutes. It's a system, not just a recipe. The cooking itself is foolproof. Heat a non-stick skillet over medium heat, add a generous pat of butter or a spoonful of coconut oil, and pour your batter to form small, manageable pancakes. Because they don't have gluten, they are a bit more delicate than traditional pancakes, so keeping them smaller makes them easier to flip. They cook quickly, about 2 minutes per side, until they're golden brown and cooked through. You can have a full, satisfying, muscle-building breakfast on your plate in under 10 minutes from start to finish. This is fast food, but it's food that serves your body, not harms it. This level of convenience is what separates a diet from a lifestyle. It removes the friction and the excuses that so often derail our best intentions. When a healthy option is also the fastest and easiest option, you're far more likely to stick with it. These pancakes aren't just a meal, they are a tool for consistency. By mastering this one simple recipe, you create a cornerstone habit for your new, metabolically efficient lifestyle. You're proving to yourself that eating healthy doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. It just has to be smart. Lunchtime is a critical juncture in your day, a point where a bad decision can undo a perfectly good morning and set you up for an afternoon slump. For many men, lunch is a rushed affair, often involving carb-heavy sandwiches, takeout, or leftovers that don't truly satisfy. This leads to that all-too-familiar 2 p.m. feeling of lethargy and brain fog. We're going to solve this problem with the ultimate quick and hearty lunch, the creamy chicken, bacon, and cauliflower bake. This is your answer to a satisfying, energizing midday meal that feels like a comfort food indulgence, but functions as high-performance fuel for your body. The core concept here is meal prep. The power of this dish lies in its ability to be prepared in a large batch over the weekend, providing you with multiple days of grab-and-go lunches. This single act of preparation eliminates decision fatigue during a busy work week. Instead of scrambling to find something healthy, you have a delicious, perfectly keto-compliant meal waiting for you. This strategic foresight is what separates those who succeed on a diet from those who fail. You're building a system that makes the right choice the easy choice, which is absolutely essential for long-term adherence and results. This bake is designed for maximum satisfaction. We're combining savory roasted chicken, crispy, salty bacon, and tender cauliflower, all enveloped in a rich, creamy cheese sauce. It hits all the notes of a classic comfort food casserole, like a macaroni and cheese or a potato gratin, but without the inflammatory, insulin-spiking carbohydrates. The cauliflower serves as a brilliant low-carb stand-in for potatoes, providing a similar texture and mouthfeel while being packed with fiber and nutrients. This allows you to satisfy those deep-seated cravings for hearty, comforting food without derailing your metabolic goals. The result is a lunch that keeps you full and energized for hours. The high-protein content from the chicken and the healthy fats from the bacon, cheese, and cream sauce provide a long, slow release of energy. You'll remain sharp, focused, and productive throughout the rest of your workday. You're not just eating to get by, you're eating to excel. This isn't a light, unsatisfying salad. It's a robust, flavorful meal that supports your body and mind, proving that keto eating can be profoundly satisfying. Let's dive deeper into why this meal is so effective at crushing hunger. The feeling of fullness, or satiety, is regulated by a complex interplay of hormones. When you eat a meal rich in protein and fat, like this cauliflower bake, you trigger the release of powerful satiety hormones like cholecystokinin or CCK and peptide YY or PYY. These hormones travel from your gut to your brain, sending a strong signal that you are full and no longer need to eat. This process is slow and sustained, which is why you feel comfortably full for hours after eating this meal. It's a biological mechanism that we are strategically leveraging. In stark contrast, a carbohydrate-based lunch, like a large sandwich or a bowl of pasta, has a very different effect on your hunger hormones. The rapid spike in blood sugar is often followed by a sharp crash. This crash can trigger the release of ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone. This is why you can feel ravenously hungry just a couple of hours after eating a large, carb-heavy meal. You're caught in a hormonal trap that drives you to eat more. Our creamy bake breaks this cycle by keeping blood sugar and insulin low and ghrelin suppressed. The role of cauliflower here is more than just being a low-carb potato substitute. It's a cruciferous vegetable, rich in fiber and sulfur-containing compounds like sulforaphane. The fiber adds bulk to the meal without adding digestible carbs, physically filling your stomach and contributing to the feeling of fullness. This fiber also feeds your beneficial gut bacteria, which play a crucial role in regulating everything from your immune system to your mood and even your appetite. So, while you're enjoying a delicious, creamy meal, you're also supporting your long-term gut health, which is foundational to overall wellness. Furthermore, the combination of ingredients creates a symphony of flavor and texture that is psychologically satisfying. The saltiness of the bacon, the savory depth of the chicken, the creaminess of the sauce, and the tender bite of the cauliflower all work together to create a rich sensory experience. This is important because psychological satisfaction is a huge component of satiety. If your food is bland and boring, your brain may still seek out more stimulating, flavorful foods. This bake is designed to satisfy both your body's physical needs and your brain's desire for a pleasurable eating experience. The modern man is busy. Between career demands, family obligations, and trying to find time for the gym, cooking a healthy lunch from scratch every day is often an impossibility. This is where the art of the meal prep becomes your greatest ally. The chicken, bacon, and cauliflower bake is the perfect candidate for this strategy. It's a one-pan meal that can be assembled and baked with minimal hands-on time, and it scales up beautifully. You can easily double the recipe and bake it in a large casserole dish, yielding enough food for 4 or 5 lunches throughout the week. This is about investing 1 hour on a Sunday to save you hours of time and stress during the week. Here's the process. You'll cook your bacon until crispy, then use some of that rendered bacon fat to sauté your chicken and cauliflower. This simple step layers flavor right from the beginning. While that's cooking, you can whip up the simple cream sauce, which is typically a base of cream cheese, heavy cream, and shredded cheddar or mozzarella, seasoned with garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. You then combine everything in a baking dish, top with more cheese and the crumbled bacon, and bake until it's hot, bubbly, and golden brown on top. The entire process is straightforward and requires very basic cooking skills. Once it's cooked and cooled, you portion it out into individual microwave-safe containers. This is the key step. Now, when lunchtime rolls around on a busy Tuesday, you don't have to think. You don't have to make a choice. You simply grab one of your pre-portioned meals from the fridge, heat it for a couple of minutes, and you have a hot, delicious, and perfectly keto-compliant lunch ready to go. You've removed the friction. You've eliminated the opportunity to make a poor choice out of convenience. This level of preparation is a game changer for consistency and long-term success. This strategy does more than just save time, it provides peace of mind. You no longer have to worry about what you're going to eat for lunch. You know you have a healthy, satisfying option waiting for you. This frees up valuable mental energy that you can then devote to your work, your family, or your workout. It's a system that supports a high-performance lifestyle. By taking control of your lunch, you're taking control of your afternoon, ensuring you have the stable energy and mental clarity you need to perform at your best, day in and day out. One of the biggest reasons diets fail is the feeling of deprivation. When you feel like you're constantly missing out on your favorite foods, your willpower eventually erodes. The key to a sustainable lifestyle change is finding ways to enjoy the flavors and textures you love within your new nutritional framework. This chicken, bacon, and cauliflower bake is a prime example of this principle in action. It directly targets the craving for rich, cheesy, savory comfort food. It feels like a cheat meal, an indulgence that should be off limits. Yet it aligns perfectly with your ketogenic goals. Think about the psychology of comfort food. These are often dishes associated with positive memories, with feelings of warmth, safety, and satisfaction. A creamy casserole can evoke feelings of family dinners or cozy winter nights. By creating a keto version of this experience, you're not just nourishing your body, you're nourishing your soul. You're proving to yourself that you don't have to give up satisfying, enjoyable meals to be healthy. This psychological win is incredibly powerful and helps to build a positive association with your new way of eating, making it something you want to do rather than something you have to do. The ingredients we're using are what make this possible. High-quality fats from dairy like cream cheese and heavy cream create a luxurious mouthfeel that is deeply satisfying. The umami-rich flavors from the bacon and aged cheese hit pleasure centers in the brain. The roasted chicken provides a hearty, substantial element that makes the meal feel complete. By embracing these fat and protein-rich ingredients instead of fearing them, we can create dishes that are far more decadent and satisfying than the low-fat, high-carb meals that often leave you feeling hungry and deprived. This comfort food advantage is a core tenet of a well-formulated ketogenic diet. It's not about eating bland, boring food, It's about rediscovering the joy of cooking with real, whole food ingredients. It's about learning how to use fat as a tool for both flavor and fuel. When you can sit down to a lunch that is this delicious and know that it's actively helping you burn fat, build muscle, and improve your health, it fundamentally changes your relationship with food. You're no longer in a battle against your cravings. You're working with them, satisfying them in a way that moves you closer to your goals. Alright, let's get into dinner. This is where a lot of guys, especially after 40, find themselves slipping up. The day is done, you're tired, you're hungry, and the craving for something substantial, something comforting, really kicks in. This is the moment where years of habit can lead you straight to a plate of pasta, a pizza, or some other carb-heavy meal that's going to spike your insulin, disrupt your sleep, and completely derail the progress you've been working so hard for all day. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can have that satisfying, hearty, comforting meal without the metabolic consequences. It's all about strategic replacement, not deprivation. We're going to build something that hits all those comfort food notes. We're talking rich tomato sauce, savory chicken, melted cheese, but we're going to construct it in a way that supports your hormonal health, fuels muscle maintenance, and keeps you firmly in a state of ketosis. This is the Keto Chicken Parmy Bowl, and it's a game changer for your evenings. We're taking a classic, beloved dish and stripping it of its inflammatory high-carb components, the breading, the pasta, and replacing them with nutrient-dense, keto-friendly alternatives that taste phenomenal and align perfectly with our goals as men over 40. The beauty of this recipe lies in its simplicity and its ability to completely satisfy that deep-seated craving for a classic Parmesan-style dish. It proves that you don't need to feel like you're missing out just because you're eating low-carb. In fact, you'll likely feel better. Without the heavy carb load, you won't experience that post-dinner slump, that feeling of being overly full and lethargic. Instead, you'll feel satisfied, nourished, and energized, setting you up for a night of restorative sleep, which is absolutely critical for hormone regulation and recovery, especially as we age. This isn't just a recipe, it's a strategy. It's about understanding your triggers, in this case, the desire for a comforting evening meal, and having a powerful, delicious, and easy-to-prepare weapon in your arsenal to meet that need head-on. This Keto Chicken Parmy Bowl is your answer to staying on track without feeling like you're on a restrictive diet. It's hearty, it's packed with protein to support muscle synthesis while you sleep, and it delivers all the flavor you're looking for, making your keto journey not just sustainable, but genuinely enjoyable, night after night. The foundation of our Parmy Bowl is, of course, the chicken. And we're not just talking about any chicken, we're talking about a perfectly cooked, juicy, and flavorful protein base that serves as the star of the show. For men over 40, maintaining lean muscle mass is paramount. It's our metabolic engine, it supports our skeletal structure, and it's crucial for maintaining strength and vitality. That's why every meal, especially dinner, needs to be anchored by a high-quality protein source. This recipe ensures you're getting a substantial dose to fuel overnight repair and growth, which is when your body does its most important work. We're ditching the traditional carb-heavy breading. Think about what that breading really is. It's refined flour and breadcrumbs that soak up inflammatory seed oils during frying, spike your blood sugar, and add empty calories. Instead, we're going to create a keto crust using a combination of almond flour, grated Parmesan cheese, and a specific blend of Italian herbs. This not only gives the chicken an incredible savory crust with a fantastic texture, but it also adds healthy fats from the almond flour and extra protein from the cheese, all while keeping the carbohydrate count practically at zero. The cooking process is also key. We want to pan-sear the chicken to get that beautiful golden brown crust, locking in the juices and developing a deep, rich flavor. This Maillard reaction is what creates that satisfying taste we associate with well-cooked meat. Once seared, we'll finish it in the oven, ensuring it's cooked through perfectly without becoming dry. This two-step process is a simple technique that elevates the dish from good to great, making sure that every single bite is tender, juicy, and packed with flavor. A far cry from the bland, boiled chicken some people associate with diet food. By focusing on this protein base, we're sending a clear signal to our bodies. We're telling it to build and repair muscle, not to store fat. The combination of high-quality protein and healthy fats is incredibly satiating, meaning you'll feel full and satisfied on a smaller portion size than you would with a carb-loaded equivalent. This is how you control calories without feeling hungry. This is how you build a meal that works for your body, not against it, providing the exact macronutrients needed to thrive as a man in his prime. Now let's talk about what truly makes a chicken parmy sing. the sauce and the cheese. This is the flavor matrix, the combination that transforms a simple piece of chicken into a culinary experience. However, this is also where hidden sugars and unnecessary carbs can sneak in. Store-bought marinara sauces are often loaded with added sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and other additives that can kick you right out of ketosis and trigger an inflammatory response. It's absolutely critical to be a label detective, or even better, to use a sauce you can trust. We are opting for a high-quality, no-sugar-added marinara sauce. Look for brands that have a simple ingredient list: tomatoes, olive oil, garlic, herbs, and salt. That's it. The natural sweetness of the tomatoes provides all the flavor you need without the metabolic chaos of refined sugar. A good sauce should be rich, savory, and slightly acidic, providing the perfect counterpoint to the richness of the chicken and the cheese. This isn't about compromise. It's about choosing quality ingredients that deliver superior flavor and superior health benefits. And then there's the cheese. We're not holding back here, but we're being smart about it. We're using a combination of full-fat mozzarella and a sharp-aged Parmesan. The mozzarella provides that glorious, gooey, satisfying cheese pull that is so essential to the comfort food experience. Using the full-fat version is key on keto, as it provides satiating fats and a much better flavor and melting profile than its low-fat counterparts. Remember, fat is not the enemy on this lifestyle. It's a crucial source of fuel and flavor. The Parmesan cheese adds a secondary layer of flavor, a sharp, nutty, umami kick that deepens the overall taste profile of the dish. It's what gives the parmi its name and its signature taste. By layering these components, the perfectly cooked chicken, the rich and savory no-sugar added sauce, and the generous topping of melted mozzarella and sharp Parmesan, we create a synergy of flavors and textures that is deeply satisfying. This isn't just food, it's a carefully constructed meal designed for maximum enjoyment and optimal metabolic health. The final piece of this puzzle, and what makes it so versatile and effective, is the bowl concept. Traditionally, chicken Parmesan is served over a massive bed of spaghetti, a veritable mountain of refined carbohydrates that will send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. By eliminating the pasta, we're not just cutting carbs, we're creating an opportunity to add in more nutrient-dense, fiber-rich vegetables, which are often lacking in the standard Western diet, but are crucial for gut health, micronutrient intake, and overall well-being, especially for men over 40. Your base for this bowl can be tailored to your preference, but my top recommendations are either zucchini noodles, zoodles, or steamed cauliflower rice. Zucchini noodles, lightly sautéed with a bit of garlic and olive oil, provide a fantastic pasta-like texture and are excellent at soaking up the delicious sauce. They are incredibly low in calories and carbs, but high in water and fiber, helping you feel full and hydrated. This is a perfect way to bulk up the meal without bulking up the calorie or carb count, a key strategy for sustainable fat loss. Alternatively, cauliflower rice is another fantastic option. It has a neutral flavor that allows the taste of the chicken, sauce, and cheese to shine through. It's packed with vitamins, particularly vitamin C and other beneficial plant compounds. Steaming it until it's just tender gives it a soft, rice-like consistency that perfectly complements the other components of the bowl. This is about adding volume and nutrients, making the meal more substantial and satisfying without relying on empty carbs. You're actively crowding out the bad stuff by adding in more of the good stuff. Assembling the bowl is the final rewarding step. You lay down your chosen vegetable base, the zoodles or cauliflower rice. Then place the magnificent cheese-topped chicken right on top. Let a little extra sauce spill over the sides, garnish with some fresh basil or parsley for a pop of color and freshness. What you have in front of you is a complete, balanced, and incredibly delicious meal. It's high in protein, rich in healthy fats, loaded with fiber and micronutrients from the vegetables, and exceptionally low in carbohydrates. This is how you eat for longevity, for strength, and for pure satisfaction. Now let's tackle one of the biggest hurdles that can sabotage any man's health journey, especially after 40 snacking. It's that 3 p.m. slump at the office, or that late-night urge while watching TV, where cravings for something sweet or crunchy can become overwhelming. This is a critical battleground. For years we've been conditioned to reach for sugary snacks, processed protein bars packed with hidden carbs, or salty, carb-laden junk food. These choices create a vicious cycle of blood sugar spikes and crashes, leaving you with less energy, more cravings, and a compromised metabolic state. The key to winning this battle is not to resist snacking altogether. That's often unrealistic and can lead to binging later on. The key is to be prepared. It's about having a smart snack readily available that satisfies your craving, provides actual nutritional value, and keeps you aligned with your keto goals. This is where these keto strawberry cheesecake balls come in. They are your secret weapon against the vending machine and the pantry raid. They are designed to crush a sweet craving instantly, but they do so in a way that supports your body. Think of these not as a cheat but as a strategic tool. They are packed with healthy fats from cream cheese and almond flour, which are incredibly satiating. Fat sends a powerful signal to your brain that you are full, helping to turn off hunger hormones like ghrelin. This means that one or two of these small cheesecake balls can satisfy you more effectively than an entire bag of chips, which just leaves you wanting more, not against it. Furthermore, preparing these in advance is a non-negotiable part of the strategy. You make a batch at the beginning of the week, and you have a healthy, delicious, and keto-friendly option locked and loaded for whenever a craving strikes. This proactive approach removes willpower from the equation. In a moment of weakness or hunger, the good decision is already made, sitting in your fridge. This is how you build sustainable, long-term healthy habits. Let's break down the core components of these cheesecake balls so you understand the science behind why they work so well. The primary ingredient is full-fat cream cheese. This is the cornerstone of the recipe. We're choosing the full-fat version for a very specific reason. The fat content is crucial for satiety and for providing a steady source of clean energy on a ketogenic diet. It also provides that rich, creamy, decadent texture that is synonymous with cheesecake, satisfying the psychological aspect of the craving. The fats in cream cheese help to slow down digestion, promoting a stable blood sugar level. The second key component is almond flour. We use this in place of the graham cracker crust you'd find in a traditional cheesecake. Almond flour is a fantastic keto baking staple. It's low in carbohydrates but high in fiber, healthy monounsaturated fats, and micronutrients like vitamin E and magnesium, a mineral that is critically important for men's health, involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including muscle function, nerve function, and blood sugar control. The almond flour provides structure to the cheesecake balls and adds a subtle, nutty flavor that complements the other ingredients perfectly. For sweetness, we're obviously avoiding sugar completely. Instead, we're using a keto-friendly sweetener like erythritol, monk fruit, or a blend of the two. These sweeteners do not impact blood glucose or insulin levels, which is the entire point. This allows you to get that sweet taste you're craving without the disastrous metabolic effects of sugar. It's about tricking your taste buds, not your metabolism. Finding a good quality sweetener that you enjoy the taste of is a key part of making the keto lifestyle sustainable and enjoyable long-term. Finally, the flavor star, the strawberries. We use real fresh or frozen strawberries, finely chopped. While fruits are generally limited on a strict keto diet, berries are an exception in moderation because they are relatively low in sugar and high in fiber and antioxidants. The small amount we use in this recipe provides a burst of authentic, fresh strawberry flavor and powerful phytonutrients without adding a significant carb load. It's this combination of rich fat, clean sweetness, and real fruit flavor that makes these snacks so incredibly effective and delicious. One of the most powerful aspects of this smart snack strategy is, honestly, the simplicity of preparation. For a habit to stick, it really needs to be easy to implement. You shouldn't have to spend hours in the kitchen every time you want a healthy snack, right? These keto strawberry cheesecake balls are designed for maximum efficiency. The entire process is incredibly straightforward and, get this, requires no baking and minimal equipment. It's a mix, chill and roll operation, which means you can whip up a batch for the entire week in less than 20 minutes of active time. The process begins by simply combining the main ingredients in a bowl. The softened cream cheese, the almond flour, your chosen keto sweetener, and a splash of vanilla extract. You mix these together until they are well combined and form a thick, dough-like consistency. It's important that the cream cheese is at room temperature to ensure it mixes smoothly and doesn't leave any lumps. This creates the creamy, uniform base that is essential for that authentic cheesecake feel. Next, you gently fold in your finely chopped strawberries. You don't want to overmix at this stage, as it can make the mixture too wet and release too much juice from the berries. You just want them evenly distributed throughout the dough. Once everything is combined, the crucial step is to chill the mixture. You'll cover the bowl and place it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes to an hour. This allows the fats in the cream cheese and almond flour to firm up, making the mixture much easier to handle and roll into balls. Once chilled and firm, you simply use a small scoop or a spoon to portion out the mixture and roll it between your hands to form bite-sized balls. From here, you can leave them as is, or you can roll them in an optional coating like shredded unsweetened coconut, more almond flour, or even crushed keto-friendly nuts for extra texture and flavor. You then place them on a parchment-lined tray and store them in the refrigerator. It's a simple, repeatable process that empowers you to take control of your snacking habits. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture of strategic snacking for men over 40. It's not just about having a keto-friendly option, it's about understanding when and why to use it. Snacking shouldn't be a mindless habit, it should be a deliberate action to address a specific need, whether that's bridging a long gap between meals, pre-fueling a workout, or satisfying a psychological craving in a healthy way. These cheesecake balls are a perfect tool for these scenarios. For the mid-afternoon energy slump, instead of reaching for a coffee loaded with sugar or a candy bar, having one or two of these cheesecake balls can provide a quick source of fat-based energy that won't lead to a crash. The fats provide a steady fuel source for your brain and body, helping you power through the rest of your workday with clear focus and stable energy. This is a much more intelligent approach to managing your energy levels than relying on the ups and downs of caffeine and sugar. As a pre-workout snack, the combination of fats and moderate protein can be beneficial. If you're working out in a fasted state but need a little something to get you going, one of these can provide the necessary fuel without a major digestive load. It gives you that metabolic kickstart without spiking insulin, allowing your body to still efficiently tap into its stored body fat for energy during the workout, which is a key benefit of exercising on a ketogenic diet. And finally, for that late-night sweet craving, these are the ultimate solution. They satisfy the desire for dessert in a perfectly portion-controlled, metabolically friendly way. Unlike a bowl of ice cream or a piece of cake, which would spike your insulin right before bed and interfere with growth hormone release and sleep quality, these cheesecake balls provide satiety without the hormonal disruption. This is how you end your day on a high note, feeling satisfied and in control, setting yourself up for a night of deep restorative sleep and waking up ready to crush the next day. So there you have it. 4 simple, delicious, and powerful recipes that are proof that eating keto after 40 is anything but boring, restrictive, or complicated. We've built a power breakfast with the keto protein pancakes to give you steady, muscle-building energy to start your day strong. We've prepped a quick and hearty lunch with the creamy chicken, bacon, and cauliflower bake to keep you fueled and focused. We've conquered dinner cravings with a satisfying keto chicken parmy bowl, and we've armed you with the perfect smart snack, the strawberry cheesecake balls, to crush cravings and stay on track. This is more than just a list of recipes, this is a blueprint. It's a framework for how to eat for strength, for energy, and for long-term health as a man in his prime. It's about understanding the principles behind the food: protein for muscle, healthy fats for fuel and satiety, and nutrient-dense vegetables for overall wellness. It's about being proactive, preparing ahead of time, and having the right tools in your arsenal so you can make powerful choices consistently. This is how you take control of your health, one delicious meal at a time. If you got any value out of this video, and if you're fired up to try these recipes and take charge of your health, do me a solid and smash that like button right now. Hitting that button really helps the channel out and lets me know that you want to see more content just like this, designed specifically to help you thrive. It's a simple click for you, but it makes a huge difference for us, so thank you for that. And I want to hear from you. Which one of these recipes are you going to make first? Are you starting your day with those protein pancakes, or are you tackling that chicken parmy bowl for dinner tonight? Drop a comment below and let me know. I read every single one, and I love seeing you guys take action and get results. Your journey inspires this entire community. Thanks for watching. Stay strong, eat smart, and I'll see you in the next one.